Welcome to the Currently Powerful podcast. I have today Austin Armstrong from Socialty Pro, and he is going to tell us all about some awesome tools that we can use and also what he thinks is going to happen with AI in the coming times, coming years, or even months. There's a lot of crazy things happening right now. Austin, please tell us more about yourself and your business, Socialty Pro, and how you're helping others.
Yeah, thanks, brother. So, my just a quick correction. My company's Syllaby. So, Socialty Pro was my first marketing agency that I shut down. I started Syllaby about 3 years ago, which is an AI automation video marketing tool that helps real estate agents and content creators and business owners and every type of industry find topic ideas, write video scripts, generate videos from faceless style video, B-roll, AI avatars. You can put in a Redfin Zillow URL and create a house tour video in a matter of seconds, and then actually connect, schedule, and publish to all of your social media platforms. But I'm just honored to be here, man. I've been in the social media game for more than 20 years at this point. I've seen all of these platforms come and go. I'm a content creator myself. I create videos and different forms of content every single day. It's a passion and I love it. And I love sharing what's working right now and active tests that I'm doing that hopefully pay off.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yes, I apologize for that. You're right. Socialty, no, syllabi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Syllabi is
Syllabi
the
is the
company.
active
Yes,
business.
and you're always making those videos of websites that feel illegal to know. That's such a great hook. Always captures my attention, and I'm always like, okay, well, what is it this time? I mean, you have so many awesome content about things that are just it didn't make sense literally just a few weeks ago. That's how fresh the content that you're putting out. So what are some of your favorite so I have clients and people that I know, content creators, that are
Mhm.
really looking for things that can optimize their YouTube videos, and was wondering what can we do to optimize their YouTube presence with some of those websites that you know.
Yeah, there's so many fantastic tools out there. So I'll just shamelessly plug Syllabi real quick and we'll get it out of the way there. But
Let's get it.
I basically built it as an automation tool. So you can find topics that will perform well on YouTube in your industry with real data to back it up. So think of it as like a keyword research tool. And you can specify YouTube specifically as well, how many people are searching for that particular topic per month. And it'll generate a video script for you if you want, or you can put your own video script in there. You can create the videos. It fully does everything. And then outside of actually scheduling and publishing it to YouTube, particularly, you can generate thumbnails with AI in Syllabi as well. And you can fully optimize everything. So with a single click, you can optimize the title of the video, the description of the video, and automatically add tags before it gets published as well. So pretty much everything that you would need to automate for YouTube, you can do in Syllabi. But aside from the shameless plug there, there's some of the classics that have integrated with AI really nice. vidIQ, for instance, comes to mind. They've really gone all in on AI for YouTube. So topic ideas, script writing. I think they have their own thumbnail generation tool as well, comparisons. And then if you go on the vidIQ website, there's a whole slew of, they have a whole menu drop down of all of the AI tools and capabilities that they can have. And they have so much YouTube data because they've been around for basically since YouTube has been around. Um, some other ones, I mean, if you're a long form content creator or you have a video podcast, uh, using a tool like Opus Clips, so opus.pro. There's a couple other ones out there. Getmunch.com is one, and uh, yeah, there's a couple out there. I'm trying to think of Submagic. Submagic is another great one as well. But basically, it'll take that long form video and automatically turn it into shorts for you. So it'll crop it into vertical. It'll position the faces so that there's always a good face on screen, so you don't have to like move it around or anything like that. Automatically add subtitles for you. Um, and then it'll give you a good like starting point for the video, so like a strong opening hook, and then the ending thought in that. So they're all like under 60 seconds or 90 seconds or whatever you set. And then yeah, that's how you can easily add shorts to your content strategy as well. Those are a couple that come to mind. I mean, we can you can go down further rabbit holes with more agentic AI, and you can do things like from YouTube to writing blog articles or turning it into email newsletters and then sending the emails. And there's just so much that you can do with AI now. It's just it's a fascinating time to be alive as a business owner and entrepreneur and as a content creator.
That's awesome. Okay, so Syllabi is your company.
Mhm.
And I mean, with all the stuff out there, why would somebody go with Syllabi over any of the other options?
Well, Syllabi is the only workflow tool that's A to Z of all of the things. So there's other tools that do keyword research, like vidIQ I mentioned. There's other tools that can create AI avatars. There's other tools that can create faceless videos. There's other tools that can create thumbnails. There's other tools that can create or schedule and automate all of your posts. And so if you want to pay for five different subscription costs, feel free to do so. Or you can just pay for one that's likely cheaper than all of those in one streamlined workflow. For the busy content creator or entrepreneur that doesn't want to spend time doing all of that, or even pay hourly to a staff member to do all of that, you can really manage everything all in one place, all in one tool for one very affordable subscription.
Oh, that's awesome. So it essentially does everything that you really need to do, and it does it really well.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
Yeah, we have several thousand users. I think we've gotten 30 or 40 at least that we're publicly aware of YouTube channels past 1,000 subscribers entirely automated through Syllabi so far.
wow.
Um, lot of channels are monetized fully through Syllabi as well, which is another really cool thing. Um, so it works. I mean, that's the coolest thing about it, is that it just actually does it works to organically grow and monetize and drive traffic to anything that you want. The other like little nuance thing is that I'm a creator, and a lot of members of our team are creators as well. So, we have some of the nuanced little things. So I'll give you an example. Like YouTube, you can A/B test three thumbnails to see which one is going to give you the best view duration on the video, which will help your video perform better overall. We baked that into thumbnail creation in Syllabi. So when you generate a thumbnail, it doesn't just generate one, it generates three unique variations based on the top performing thumbnails on YouTube, so that you can immediately download all three variations and A/B test that on your videos. So it's little nuance things like we're not just like random software developers that are trying to like capitalize on something. Video marketing has changed my life. This is a mission driven. I'm trying to help a million people grow on social media, and so it's these little things that like we've actually done it ourselves and proven it over and over and over again before we rolled it out. And then last thing I'll mention too is our community and our customer service. So that's one of my core principles, just as a human, but as a business owner as well. As we haven't raised 50, $100 million like some of these companies out there, but you can always compete on customer service at any level. We can compete with Google on customer service because the CEO responds to comments every single day. I answer messages every single day. I do demos with people every single day, and as does our team. So we're very community and customer service focused as well.
That's awesome. I love hearing that because, you're right. The things that you touched on, the thumbnail creation and the A/B testing on that is a sore point for so many creators. In fact, that's the thing that I hear the most from my friends that are creators. Like, hey, I have a good friend who is created essentially he's out in the woods and he's, you know, building his property and he's creating content on that. He's asked me, what's the best way to go about this? I'm like, well, I heard about Claude. I heard good things about this. I heard good things about this, but I have no like, everything's changing so fast. So that's why I was like, you know what? I need to talk to Austin. He's the guy who's literally at the very front of this thing. So thank you for letting me know about this. So Syllabi,
Yeah.
again, I keep hearing about Syllabi, but it's it feels like I did not know enough about this. How much is your monthly subscription? Is there a yearly option? How does that whole thing work?
Yeah, starts at $25 a month, and you can create a lot of content, schedule and publish that. Again, like this is not like a get rich thing for me. This is a mission driven company, so I didn't want anyone to have the excuse of I can't afford, $500 a month for a marketing tool. Listen, you go out to dinner once, it's more expensive than a month of this tool, and I wanted to make sure that that was the case. So starts at 25 per month. The top tier plan is 149 per month, which you can create just a ridiculous amount of content with. And then we have annual plans as well that are 15% off the year discounted. So it's very affordable.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's the right price, I feel, to get everybody involved. I mean, so what about Facebook, Instagram, all the
Mhm.
other tools out there? Are you guys optimized for all that as well?
Yep. So we're directly in Syllabi integrated with TikTok, YouTube, Facebook pages, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Threads. So those are all of the platforms that you can schedule and publish to currently. And we're rolling out a couple others. We're working on Pinterest, Rumble, and Blue Sky as well.
Wow.
So, because some of the kind of the outliers there a little bit, but
That's excellent. So is are you guys optimized for each algorithm? Is that what's happening?
Mhm.
So when you
Yep.
choose each thing, okay. So
Yep.
you really don't need to go anywhere else.
That was the idea, just to do let Syllabi handle the bulk of your video marketing and social media growth. Still be the content creator, right? It's not like a full replacement. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's to help you stay more consistent because we are in that era of people are just rapid firing content with AI. Still be the face of your brand, be the voice of your brand, add your context and clarity. That's how you're going to build that know, like, and trust online to really convert social traffic into website traffic, into leads, and ultimately into sales and customers. But just let this be the top of mind tool so that every single day you have a new educational or entertaining piece of content that goes out. And so in between, when you're regularly able to create your own content, you're still growing in between.
That's excellent because you're right. That is one of the most difficult things for people is to stay consistent with creating content.
Absolutely. And it's the most important part.
Yeah, exactly. And it's crazy because you would think that the algorithms would realize that people are not made that way. We go through our sprouts
Yep.
of, we're right in the middle of this. We're going to do this so well. And then all of a sudden we just fall off for, a few
Yep.
weeks, a month, and then come back. But no, they want it the way they want it. So we
Yep.
need to be able to have things to feed into the system while we're not able to actually be in that mind space of creating new things. So that's a really good
100%.
way to go about that. Now, how do you guys stay on top of all the different changes because things are changing so fast? How are you able to make sure Syllabi is actually on the front of everything so you're not falling behind with some other tools that just pop up and all of a sudden blows everybody else out of the water?
Well, so we have a superpower that my unfair advantage is that I am an AI content creator. So it's my job to stay on top of all of the latest updates and create content around it to build my audience. And so I can take what I learn and apply it into Syllabi really easily. I delegate a lot of tasks to other team members and other business partners as well, so that I can lean into my expertise and zone of genius and my passions. Like I am extremely passionate about social media marketing, which is like the nerdiest thing ever to say, but I just love it. I've been doing it since I was 14 years old. And so it's the content that I have created has changed over the years. The last about 3.5 years has been really AI focused. I got in kind of early, I was just fascinated by it. You mentioned that These Five Websites Feel Illegal to Know series that worked really well for me before all of the AI websites came out. I was sharing SaaS websites anyway, useful websites to help business owners and entrepreneurs, and so it was just a really easy pivot for me to work in some of the AI tools that were coming down the pipeline and talking about AI specifically for marketing and business and entrepreneurship. And so I constantly do a lot of research myself. There are other podcasts that I listen to and um, uh, other AI influencers that I follow and newsletters. I go to tech conferences and all sorts of different conferences. We have other team members that just do research all day as well, and we just do our best to keep a hand on the pulse. Like it's impossible to keep up with everything because it's moving so fast. But I do think that we have a really good hand on the pulse and being really early. Because if I didn't find it first, somebody that in my immediate network did find it. And so I'm like 1 degree of separation away from breaking news in AI. And so that's kind of a superpower that we've been able to have to make sure that Syllabi is always on the cutting edge.
Well, that's wonderful because that's exactly what we need. Because we can't stay on top of all these things, and
Yeah.
it's literally every other minute. It's like, oh, check out this new thing that came out and look what it does. And I mean, if you have a whole team that is ready and actually following up with and implementing that into your own tool,
Hmm.
well, I mean, that makes perfect sense. Why pay $15 six different ways when you can do
Yep.
$25 once? Well, shoot, I got to sign up now. So
Give it a try. Let me know what you think.
100% I will, because I just
Mm,
canceled another one, which was helping me with doing a lot of uh, content creation, but really more like funnel pages and things like that.
mm,
But I picked it
hmm.
up on the back end on a different package. So now I
Nice.
have that already, but the video content creation is something that I definitely need to do more of. And so that is something that makes sense, because I mean, with all the videos that I watch, you mentioned Syllabi. You're like, yeah, you also do this too. I'm like, okay, great. Well, what is it? And just like most people, I'm too lazy to go to the webpage to figure it out. So that's why I figured, you know what, I really need to talk to you and figure out what exactly Syllabi does and see how it can help. And yeah, I think a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of business folks, no matter what your business is, could really implement, I feel, Syllabi into their business, because again, eyes are what's going to get you calls, and calls are what's
Mhm.
going to make you money. And so
Yep.
at the end of the day, if you care about people and you want to help people, well, I think this is a natural next step forward to making sure your voice is heard out there. So tell me, what do you
Absolutely.
think the next step for AI is? Where do you think it's going? Because from what I'm hearing, we're so close to conscious AI. It's going to doom us all. But I'm also hearing about that steep wall of consciousness versus non-consciousness, and how it's not even close to anywhere besides that. Because from what I'm reading, is with Chat GPT and all these things, it's really good at predicting what the next word or the next sentence or the next thing could
Yep.
be, but it's not really making its own thoughts or its own processes. So
Right.
what do you think? How do you feel about the Skynet Terminator aspect of the system?
I am, yeah, I'm optimistic. So there are some natural progressions that are happening right now. I think, we're entering into this agentic AI era. It's been sort of the Chat GPT like input output for the last couple of years. Now, the last year, there have been more agent tools that are coming out. Manus, GenSpark, Lindy, sort of these step-by-step workflow tools with advanced reasoning and logic behind it as well. And so that's the interesting thing is like it's not just predictive text anymore. It's doing research and thinking about the best courses of action to take and making educated decisions based on that and then executing it and testing it and then implementing it. And so we're going to see more and more advanced use cases of agentic AI. And I think that is going to lead to AGI, artificial general intelligence, which is the sort of like sentient, Terminator-esque robot doomsday thing. Um, I think that's probably closer than we think. I think we will, because it's already passed the Turing test. They've already been able to pass the Turing test, which is like, is it a robot or is it a human? Um, I think the early predictions from like Mark Zuckerberg and Sam Altman and some of these other titans in the AI world right now are predicting 2026, or that's like the deadline that they're
Wow.
working towards. Um, Now it might be more of the headline of what they label AGI is, or the earliest stage of AGI, and then it will, with no doubt, self improve and progress, and that's where potential dangerous things can come. But yeah, we'll probably see, like, there will probably be a big headline in 2026: AGI created. We've reached AGI, right? And that's going to be interesting of how, like, they decide on the definition of what that means at the initial stage of it. Now, beyond that as well, like, immediate things that are also happening in the evolution of AI is the hardware space. So that is the next like real practical use case for the everyday person, is AI hardware, right? So like wearables have been out for a while now, Fitbits and Apple Watches and Android watches. I've got a Aura ring, and it scans my data and gives me AI suggestions based on my heart rates and stress levels and all of that stuff, right? Um, but we're going to start to see more AI integration into the physical world. So, like, Meta smart glasses are out. They're fantastic. I've tested them. I love them. They're great. We're going to see more of that with like multimodal. So it'll have like little displays on screen, sort of augmented reality meets AI powered. Um, Optimus robots and humanoid in-home robots are right around the corner, like within the next 2 years. Many people will be having robots in their household. They're already training them on household chores, like folding laundry and unpacking groceries, and take the dog out for a walk. Like all kinds of little stuff like that. They're training it on everything. Like, you can actually see the warehouses where they're training it on these little tasks. Um, and then in cars, I mean, we have driverless self-driving taxis like Waymo, and Tesla's had self-driving for a while. That's only going to continue to improve. Even in our own self-driving cars, we're going to have AI in our dashboards and the infotainment areas and whatnot. And just last week or 2 weeks ago, maybe, I saw OpenAI just made a strategic acquisition of, I forget the name of the company, but it's called IO, I think.
Hmm.
That he basically was the like designer for Apple for a long time,
Yes, I
and
have.
he started his own company. I think it's IO. I might be wrong on that. But OpenAI is going to start rolling out AI devices in the next year or two, and so we're going to see a lot more physical hardware with AI, and it's not just going to be in our phones and in our computers and through the internet, but in our everyday lives.
So, and that's definitely concerning, because we as people are not, there's no perfect people really, so
Sure, sure.
what's going to stop AI from, taking a second and deciding, okay, well, we know what the problem with the world is. It's people, and just wipe us out. That's
Yeah, you hope that's not the case. I mean, that's the worst case scenario, right? In the sci-fi movies. I think we will probably have to um people may or may not like this. This is going to create its own divide in people, but we ourselves are probably going to have to become androids. Madman Elon also has Neuralink, right? Which right now they're working on it. It's the input a chip in your brain. And it's right now they're doing clinical tests to help with like Alzheimer's disease and all kinds of different stuff like that, and bringing eyesight back and all kinds of really cool use cases. But um, it'll get to a point where it's like steroids for your brain. Like you can have the world's information in your brain at any given time with immediate access. And I think we'll need to do that as humanity in order to just be on the same level and playing field as AI and robots. And like that's kind of the world that we're naturally progressing into. You know, they always say, and they always said in sci-fi movies and stuff, there's going to be guardrails in
Yeah.
place.
Well, how can
And
there be
so, you know,
guardrails when it's smarter than us, right? If it's at that point, what can we really put up? It's like a wooden fence that
um,
literally our the coyotes jump over,
mm,
snag your pet and take off. I mean, it's biblical, really. If you think
mm,
about it, you got your chip in your brain, and then what's
mhm,
going to stop the AI from running 1,000 years of experiments in your brain? And you're living 1,000 years in a second, and it's running experiments because it needs to
mm,
figure out some kind of data.
yeah.
So that's very. I mean, so how do you go about navigating that world? Do you take the chip or do you leave the chip? Because that's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting. I'll tell you, I'm not going to be a first adopter of the brain chip, but we'll see how it goes because, like, you just know that there's going to be issues with that out of the gate, right? So, I don't know. We're entering into an interesting world. Yeah, it's hard to think. Like, I think a lot of this is going to be, 10, 15, 20, 30 years out. The other really important thing that we have to remember too is like we are very much in an echo chamber. And so like I'm very hand on the pulse of everything that's coming out in AI and the advancements and the technological workthroughs because that's the people and the information that I surround myself with on a daily basis. But you go out into the country, maybe even 45 minutes to an hour outside of wherever you live, wherever you're listening to this, and you talk to the average person who's just working in a warehouse or, in the grocery store or whatever, they're still like, yeah, I played around with Chat GPT once or twice, right? So they're still so far behind. So there is that sort of echo chamber of I think some of this stuff is coming sooner than later. Mass adoption will probably take decades for a lot of this. Hardware in particular is a very difficult space to manufacture at scale. Um, so we're probably still decades out from um, this potential doomsday scenario here. But I don't know, man. It's crazy to think about. Like everything's moving so fast. I don't even know what 5 years from now is going to look like anymore. I don't think anybody does.
Yeah, and I was reading that AI now has over 25% of the information on the
Mm,
internet, that it's already chewed through everything that
yeah,
humans know, and it's now
yeah.
generating its own content, and it's just
Mm,
essentially eating itself. And so
mm,
where does it come to that point where it has no more value for human information? And and like we talked about, if there's if AI through hardware can do human tasks, I mean, where does that leave us? I mean, are we looking towards the universal income?
mhm.
What are we going to
Yeah.
do? I mean, how much fatter can we get, Austin? You know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the idea of UBI probably will be rolled out because it's just gonna be devastating for some jobs that will be completely overtaken by AI or very, very few human operators to oversee the AI. In general, like you talk about like a kill switch, they probably will need to have some sort of like universal kill switch or something like that, just like a pulse blast that just like wipe out the technology or
Really? I
something
mean,
like
what else
that.
could we do? Because if it's
Yeah,
and I mean, isn't that how the Matrix started though?
pretty much. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So I mean, is that where so we're gonna have to have redundancies on top of redundancies in
Yeah.
order to make sure that this thing just literally doesn't eat us alive. And I was reading again that because of deep seek and all the other different tools that are coming out, we really have there's no we can't stop it because if we're not on top of it, the other companies are going to get on
Yeah.
top of it and other countries. And so if we're going to
Yep.
stay on top of the forefront, which from all the different vehicles and all the implementation China's doing,
Hmm.
it's going to be an uphill battle as far as staying
Yep.
on top of the whole situation. So,
Yep.
I mean, who's working behind the scenes? I know, Elon's been very vocal about we need to put some kind of, kill switches. This thing might now last podcast I heard him talk about. He's like, oh yeah, there's a 80% chance we're safe, 20% chance we're not, and that's still a long, that's a huge
Yep.
percentage. 20% chance. That's 2 out of 5. I mean, shoot, what can we do? How can we prepare ourselves? Because if you have a computer, if you have a phone, I mean, it can reach you everywhere you're at. What can we do
Hmm.
currently to be prepared for this kind of scenario? Because guns are not going to help. You know what I mean? Everybody's piling up their arsenal, but that's not going to do anything. It's you're talking about a.
Yeah.
Recently, I saw a drone that
Hmm.
takes people out in seconds, and it's the size of a little
Mm.
spider. You know,
Wow.
so like, what defense do we have as humans?
Well, from big things like that, I don't know if there's much that we can do, but there, the two things come to mind that you immediately want to focus on. One is having critical thinking, especially for right now, with how fast AI content creation is getting good and so uh good that you can't tell the difference um if it's a real person saying that or if it's fake. I mean, for those of you that have not seen some of the Google VO3 videos that came out, you might have not even known it
Wow,
yet.
so true.
um which is crazy. So like, critical thinking, I think, is the most important skill that needs to be taught from the youngest age possible in children, and everyone moving forward. Like, before you just make any impulse decisions on anything, think to yourself, is this real? Is this AI? Is this, what are the pros and the cons of this? Will this benefit me? Sit and wait on some of these things and spend a little bit more time thinking like, is this misinformation that's spreading? And not just like immediately just sharing something and furthering misinformation because it looks real. Do your own sort of research and double check the facts that that information is real. And then the second thing is just staying up to date on as much as you can. It seems overwhelming, but listening to podcast episodes like this and other great podcasts and following AI content creators and following some of these leaders on Twitter or their social media or X or their social media platform of choice and just looking at Google News every day and typing in AI and seeing all the breaking news stories, right? Like that's the simplest thing that you can do. And just stay up to date so that you can make real-time adjustments for you and your family. Um, Based on how things are coming and as well as like regulation in your country. There might be safe zone countries down the road where they're like, no, we have no progression in AI and we don't want technology coming in or out and advancements, outside of the internet. So I don't fully know, but like those are two things that come to mind. Like I don't know how I could possibly protect myself from an ant-sized drone that's going to kill me in one shot. There's pretty much nothing I can do to protect myself, except for living indoors in a bubble suit. For, but that's not practical, right? So just being open-minded that hopefully everything is going to be good and positive. And I think it's an opportunity right now. Still, it's still early in all of this to educate yourself. Because like the first thing that's going to happen before any doomsday thing is like job disruption, which is already happening, right? So like how you can immediately prepare yourself to not be disrupted and not lose your job is not to be combative about this stuff, and say, I hate AI, I'm anti-AI, don't use AI. Sorry, cat's out of the bag. That attitude's not going to do anything for you. And you might not like that answer, but sorry, you're going to get run over by somebody that's using AI in your industry. And so you just have to embrace the situation that is now inevitable, and learn AI, whether you like it or not. If you want to keep your job, you want to stay in the industry that you're in, it's going to be disrupted by AI, regardless if you like it or not. So learn it.
Well,
Stop
I
being a little
remember when
bitch.
smartphones first came out, and people were just calling. They would say, "Oh, I don't want a smartphone. I want a flip phone. That's all I want. I don't
Yeah.
care." And
Yeah.
you know what? Now they're using smartphones. They're just late to the game now, but because you can't really get uh, the flip phones anymore. But what it comes down to really is right now we still have that opportunity to get ahead of it. Hey, why don't you be
Hmm.
the first trillionaire? You know,
Yeah.
anybody can do it right now
100%.
because it's still so early in the. It was just like back in the day when internet came out.
Hmm.
Those early companies, most of them are not necessarily here anymore. But there's companies like Amazon, which we never even thought was going to be a thing,
Yeah.
now is one of the biggest companies in the world, and
Yeah.
so who knows when our opportunity arises. And anyway, if you follow this biblically, you still got 1,000 years of greatness before the 1,000 years of craziness happens. So,
Yeah.
you might as well enjoy what you can while you can, and, do what you can with what you got and learn and stay on top of it. Spread the positivity that you can through all the tools that we can get. And
Yes, sir.
like we talked about, Syllabi would be an awesome way to do it. So I'm definitely signing up. You got any is there a trial period, or is it just you
Mhm.
just go on? Oh, awesome.
Yep. Yeah, 7-day free trial. Yeah, you have to add a card on file, but you can cancel anytime if it's not for you, no problem. 7-day free trial, you get, I think, 50 credits so you can fully explore the platform. We do free demos as well. And we have an amazing customer online community on Facebook in particular, Syllabi content creators. We've got about 52,000 members in there now.
Wow.
So we just want you to succeed. So however we can help you, do the trial, contact us. I'm in there every single day. Just let us know how we can help you and be supportive.
Awesome. Hey, could you spell syllabi real quick?
It's Syllaby. And the website itself is syllaby.com or .io or .ai. We've got all of them, but yeah, syllabi.io or syllabi.com.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much for your time, Austin.
Thank you,
I
brother.
myself can't wait to start implementing it in my videos and things that I'm going to be doing, and I already am doing. So I can't wait to see. Now, do you guys do landing pages or anything with that too, or is it
Nope, nope.
just
We
straight
stay
video?
in our lane. We are hyper focused on being the best video marketing platform on the internet.
Excellent. All right. Well, hey, thank you so much for your time. It's been great getting to know what you do and your thoughts on what's happening. And hey, hopefully we're not all doomed, but if we are,
I
we're gonna
Yeah.
go out with the
I like to stay positive, don't stay negative, right? Like let's just spread love and support one another and hope for the best here and stay educated on what's happening.
Love it. Thanks for your time, brother.
Thanks, man.